got a big pork roast thawed out from Jacobs and Sons down in Martins Ferry, and we're gonna put it in the smoker today. All right, we got these racks nice and hot. We're gonna take our wood scraper, get them cleaned up. If you get one of these wood scrapers, it doesn't really mess up the integrity of these racks, and eventually they wear their own grooves in it. But just getting these cleaned up, and then we're going to move them over to the side we're going to use and oil them up. We're going to use hardwood lump charcoal, and we're going to take it and get it started in this charcoal starter. Alright, so we have the charcoal starter filled up, and we're going to put it on this side burner here. This works perfect for getting this going. You can buy little, I think they're like little starters that you set underneath of this body there and set it on concrete or something on the ground. But if you have a burner on the side of your grill, this works awesome. Alright, one more thing before we get started. These are the wood chips we're going to use. They're a blend of hickory, oak, and apple. We're going to use these, but prior to, you want to soak these in water. I usually use warm water for, I don't know, at least 10 minutes or so, just to get them, bring them back to life a little bit, get them nice and moist. And we are going to add, let's see, the charcoal once it's fired. We're going to throw it down in the smoke box here, in the fire box, which, let's see, pull this door open. We're going to add it right here. Alright, we got our pork roast nice and thawed out, and we're going to use Tony Chachere's. I've been shoving it in to the tip there, and just injecting, it says a ½ an inch every 1 inch square. So I just kind of went around, injected this up nice and good. We already did this once actually, I'm just doing this for the video because we didn't have it rolling. And finish this off. You can see it coming out. He's not barking at anybody, he's not growling ever. He's growling like play. Like he'll come up to you with like a swing his mouth like, and I'm like, dude, and then we hit it with some seasoning, original. Again, we already did that. And we had it in the fridge for about 20 minutes, I'd say. And then we brought it back out to come up to moderate room temperature. And then we're going to get it ready to go in the smoker. Alright, we got that pretty well cleaned out. We're going to dump this charcoal down in. Right there. As you can see, nice and glowing red up top. Dump this down in here. If I can without burning the house down. There we go. Some nice coals in there. Bring over here. Shut this burner off. Turn our gas off. Alright. Now, kick them around a little bit. And throughout this process, I might add some more eventually. Just depends. I think they say the meat only absorbs smoke for like, I don't know, the first half hour maybe, or 45 minutes. I don't know if that's 100% true, but we're going to let that sit in there and cook for a little bit, because this is the first fire that we've had in here in, well, since last year. Alright, we got a good flame going in there, keeping that shut. We're going to let this temperature come up. We're going to try to keep it at least 225 to 250, somewhere around there. With these fires, it's a little bit tough. You really got to kind of just play with it. Each smoker is going to be different. Let this come up to temperature. We're going to try to keep it by adjusting the flow of smoke out the chimney. You don't want too much heat coming out, but you also want to keep a good flow on the coals to keep the temperature where you need it. And we're going to be able to adjust the intake right here. So we're going to leave that open, get a nice draft going in, getting them coals nice and hot, and hopefully pushing the heat up into the box and getting it up to temperature as fast as possible. Once we do, we'll go ahead and get our meat in there, let it get acclimated to the temperature just a little bit, and add our soaked wood chips. And if we have to, if it feels like it's getting dried out, sometimes I'll put that rack back into the firebox and add a metal container of either just water or sometimes apple juice. Sometimes I'll spray when I'm cooking with apple juice. Depends on what I'm cooking. All right, that thing is looking and smelling really good. Almost up to temperature. I threw a little bit of chips in already, just because those charcoal briquettes that I had, the lump charcoal, they had like kind of a strong smell to them, so I didn't want that hitting the meat immediately. So we got a little bit of smoke flowing. Get her shut. Temperature come back up, and then we will, like I said, tweak the intake and exhaust to get our fine-tuned temperature. And then I'll have to keep adding either I have some apple wood cut from branches that I had to trim off of one of my apple trees, so we might use some of that. Might just use some more lump charcoal, but we got to keep the fire going probably, I'd say, anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. Alright, so we got our temperature, came up to 250, and it started climbing past. So I went ahead and shut the intake here, and opened the exhaust full bore. And you can see it's starting to come down. Alright, so we started running out of coals down here from the charcoal, so I added 2 pieces of cherry wood from the downstairs that I cut for firewood. I added those in there, and they're kicking back up. I just had the door open, so our temperature just dropped below 200, but we're going to bring it right back up, hopefully. And this thing is actually looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and spin that here in a minute, because all that heat's coming through that one, the chamber here, the opening from the firebox to the charcoal side where the meat is, and it's all kind of hitting that one side before it works its way over to the exhaust. So if you spin the meat, I usually spin it like halfway or even a couple times throughout the thing, depends on how hot you get. And a lot of times if you use actual wood for this to keep the temperature up, you can, if you use too much wood or if it's really seasoned wood, you can get too much flame going, so you might have to dampen it with even some water. Just hit it with some water to get the flame to go away, or use a lot less draft on it. It's a little bit tricky to balance the temperature, but the more you do it, the better you'll get. Alright, I think it's almost done. I checked the temperature once, let's check it one more time. Grab this and put her in right there. She's reading. Can't see that again yet. Focus failed. It's reading about 150. She's looking good. Okay, so everything wanted to get done at the same exact time, so we're going to hurry up and pull this out of here. Set it in this pan. I can breathe. Alright, we're going to wrap this in tin foil. Let it rest a little bit.